This is gonna be the first entry in a new series I'm starting called "Are You a Good Parent?" And this is a very, very, very important subject we have. And once again, I want to always start my video by letting it be known that I make these videos for the black community. Um, Anybody that decide to stop by, peep in, give me a view, maybe share with their black friend, I appreciate you. I'm thankful for you. I'm grateful for you. But this video is for the blacks. I'm a black man, and I notice, not only do I notice, I'm willing to speak about and make a change, and not only by just what I say, by the things that I do, um, but I want to make a voice and be one of the, because I notice there's a lot of voices these days that's coming up in the rise of men and women, such as this young lady here who speaking the truth, that's black and not afraid to speak to black people, because we know in our community accountability and truth is almost like taboo. Everything going on in our community is everybody else's fault. Let most black tell it, especially black liberals and black wokey wokes, and nobody takes accountability. But I want to start this new series, because one of the main issues with a lot of black people today is parenting. And even though some of these people, even dealing with adults, they're grown children, and because they had bad parents. And I got a video on my page I made a couple of months ago. If you want to watch it, you can go check and make sure you go to my channel and check in the live section. And it's called I forgot the name of it. It's something doing with parenting. Are you a good parent, or something about something along those lines. And the video is very important because I break down on the question of, are you a good parent, or are you a good person? You got a lot of people who raise children. They good people. They're good people, and they have good intentions. It's not like they just say, "Hey, I'm gonna raise a." These days, I don't quite know, but I'm 35, and coming up in my time, a lot of our parents, if you my age, 9 times out of 10, your parent is a baby boomer. Come from the 50s and the 60s, and they raised us, and they was good people, but they was bad parents for the simple fact that a lot of them used the same business model that was used to raise them, and they used that on us, which you could never use the business model that was raised on you for your kid. Now you can take some things away, but you gotta always add to that and always try to refine that, and be up to date, because the thing that they have, the thing that we had at our disposal, our parents didn't. The thing that our children today have at their disposal, we did. Like, for example, when I was coming up, and the internet was in its beginning stages, you had to pay for porn. You know what I'm saying? You had to pay for porn. You had to have credit card numbers. You really, if you was a kid, you actually paid for porn. It was close to impossible. Now you might could steal your parent credit card and get on one of those late night thing, Girl Gone Wild, and get a DVD sent discreetly to your house, or get on the website, or even get on the quote unquote, back in the day they had Cox TV, and you can just order with a click of a button. What you needed, a parental code, right? And if your parents had that parental code, there's nothing you can do to get in there. So it was it was a little bit, it was a little, you could make it happen if you really was, interested in doing it, because some of us did, but it was more of a boulder in front of you. Now it's so easy to do. It's free. It pops up when you don't even want it to pop up. It's there. So I can't use the business model to raise my children, which I don't currently have at the moment. But I can't use the same business model that I was raised with to raise my children, because it wouldn't work, because this generation here is way far more advanced than our generation. Even speaking about situations, like I was talking to somebody the other day. I was talking to a young lady that I know the other day, and she's a good lady. She's a good young lady. She grew up to be a successful woman. But back then she was a little wild. She was a little quote unquote thotty thot. But back then the thotty thots had to really like maneuver right. Like it was, because it was always a friend, if not multiple friend, but it was always a friend in the females groups, or a girl that you might be dating. And she had one of those friends who parent was always working. Well, mom, or not parent, single parent. Parent was either her parent was always working, or she stayed with her grandparents and they didn't really care. So what you would do is, especially for the ones who parent was always working, the female would go to spend the night at their house, and that's where we would go either pick them up and bring them to our spot, or we would go to them. You know what I'm saying, and do whatever we wanted to do. And we was talking the other day, and I was telling, I say, your daughter almost the age that you used to be doing some little wild stuff. I say you got to be careful with them now. She said, yeah, I'm doing the best I can, and it's so simple now. They don't need to act. They don't need to have to find a ride. That's another thing. Like today, they don't have to find a ride. You know what I'm saying, to go where they want to go. All they got to do is create a Lyft account. So it's crazy now. You know what I'm saying. But I ran into this video on Instagram, and then I seen this young lady here who actually made a video about it, and I want to speak on it. The reason why I want to make it my first entry in Are You a Good Parent, because clearly this young lady parent is bad parents. Not saying that they good, not saying that they bad people, which is 9 times out of 10 in this situation. Not all you gotta deal with this thing. You gotta deal with these situations on a case by case basis. But there's a good chance from the way this young lady acted in this video that not only is her parents bad parents, they're bad people. We also know from this situation her daddy is not in her life, so he's a bad parent. Now, some may say, well, you don't know the situation. Maybe the woman keeping her, well, if that is the case, where the mama keeping him out of her life, which is that's pretty much impossible at this point because she's a young lady, she's in high school. Well, if that is the situation, it's the mother's fault at the end of the day for making because a lot of these women, man, let's be honest, I always put the blame on the man because the man is the head, and the man is gonna be the head of helping fixing this black community. The woman have a part, but the woman is natural this. It's just natural for the woman to follow. Like for example, women. These Instagram women, they follow men who got money and trapping because that's what's popular, right? But if all black men got on one accord and said, look, we not getting on social media with none of that foolishness no more. We not selling drugs. We doing businesses, and we have a legit job. Then that's what the woman would be attracted to. The woman is a follower by nature. That's just God put her here for the man, for her to follow the man. So we can always harp on these women. That's why I always say this not a channel to bash the black woman. It's not a channel to bash the black man. But I will rectify the truth. And before our community ever get fixed, the black man gonna have to take the initiative because he is the head. But going back to my initial subject, listen, this young lady, and I'm gonna play the video for you. We gonna watch this whole video together, and of course I'm gonna chime in. But clearly, this young lady parent failed her. Clearly, this young lady have bad parents, and I will go a step further in this situation and say not only is her parent bad parent, they're bad people. Because when you see somebody in high school that's looking like this, carrying themselves like this, and acting like this, we understand what's going on at home. And the young lady that made this video is going to speak about some of these things. And of course, I know some of these things from example. You have a lot of these homes, and I've dated them, these single mother homes. And the daughter is she's growing into her body, and she's, beautiful, and she's full and filling out her certain parts of her body. The mother is overweight, or not so much as overweight. She up in age now. She ain't looking good as she might have once did. She's jealous of the daughter. Her and the daughter go toe and toe. The daughter don't have no respect for her, or the daughter is her best friend. So they go out, they twerk together, they do all kind of stuff together, which is the daughter don't have no respect for her. And a lot of these situations, I can guarantee you, I would put my neck on the guillotine and put my life on jeopardy that her father is nowhere in her life, and especially if he is in her life, he not in the home, because there's no way a daughter who is raised in the home with her father would act this way. And this young lady is going to speak about some of the things that I've always said, and she's going to affirm them by saying them herself, because a lot of times things like that is good when it's said by a woman, because when the men said, oh, you just being misogynistic, but a lot of things have to come from a woman. That's why it's a blessing for women like this to have channels, because some women only gonna listen to other women. Even if a man saying the truth, they gonna only listen to other women, because let them tell it we heard, or we hate black women. But it is what it is. But like I say, man, I'm gonna play the video, and of course I'm gonna chime in. Now the young lady here has two different color hair, not happening in my house. Whenever you turn 18, legal, you can do. And I got a video on my channel about that. I'm glad I said that. And it was also in my live set. As a matter of fact, I believe you can click the link in my bio, the link in my description. You can click the link and it'll pop up some of my videos, but not all of them. Some of them you gonna have to go to my channel that you watching this video on and look in the live section, look in the video section. I got videos in all different areas. But when you click the link in my description on this video, I got a video that I made called "Should You Pick Your Children Friends?" Right? Should you pick your children friends? And that's a big yes. But listen to the video until they're 18, because you know when they're 18, they considered legally an adult, so you can't really tell them what to do no more. Right now, you could have rules set in your house, and you can enforce those rules and make sure they respect those rules. But as far as you being a legal guardian at 18, that's no longer the case. So first of all, in my house, and until you 18, ain't no tattoos, ain't no dyeing your hair. So that's the first area where she just do it. But we know how the day go. Oh, it's cute. Just do what you want. Um, that's the first thing. And she's in an authoritative. The teacher is a woman of authority. And I just spoke about a couple of videos I made by Tyree Nichols situation. One of the issues in our community is we do not respect authority. Why is that? Because 70% of our children are being raised in home without a father. A father is authoritative figure. A father creates structure. A father creates discipline. A father is dominant. A woman is not an authoritative figure. A woman is a nurturer. A woman is a caregiver. A woman is the soft side. She is not an authoritative figure. Only time she's an authoritative figure in the house is when she don't got no weed. Only time she's an authoritative figure in the house is when she having a bad day. Only time she is an authoritative figure of the day when the direct positive don't hit. Other than that, she's sweet. Or only time she's an authoritative figure is when that dude she messing with then went upside her head, or he not else on the phone. He at another female house. That's the only time a woman is an authoritative figure in the house. Other than that, she's just gonna talk, 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 talk. I've dated them. I know what I'm talking about, right? And so, of course, she don't have no. And you know, in our community, we don't respect authority. This is why this is going on all over the world. This just a video that just so happened to go viral, but this is going on all over the world, man. Not respecting authority is one of our main. This is why we getting killed in the street by police, because we not taught to respect authority, because we raised in the home with mama. And we know majority of these liberal black women, they are overly emotional, they're compulsive, and this is what's being passed on to the daughters and the sons. And so they overreact anytime they're in front of authority, and the cops are the wrong people to do that with, because it's not gonna turn out well for you. But I'm gonna let her let the video play, and of course I'm gonna chime in. Oh my goodness.
For context, this is a high school student, okay? And my first initial thoughts when I saw this clip, I don't want to play the rest of the clip because it makes me angry, okay? The full clip makes me enraged when I see how this young woman dealt with this grown-up that could be her mother maybe 2 times over. When you see kids behave like this, first thing I want to say is, I'm not speaking because I know this person. I don't know anything about these people. I don't know this girl's background. I know nothing about that. But from my observation, you see when daddy's not around,
Thank you, sister.
this is how young girls act.
Preach.
Because the same way that she does not respect this woman, she probably doesn't respect her own mother.
This woman preaching, man.
I'm just keeping it real. There's a strong possibility that when she goes home, her mother can't control her either. Hence, at such a young age, having 2 different hair colors. This is just my opinion. It's just my opinion. It's just my opinion.
No, sister, it's facts. It's not your opinion. It's facts.
The problem is that a lot of teachers have an even harder time not only just dealing with the kids, But also when they call home and the mother be like, "Well, my daughter said you don't like her, and you be picking on her, and they get no support, and they don't get paid enough for this."
I want to add this. A lot of these women, and I'm gonna show you something. This young lady, if she's in high school, that means she's between the ages of 14 and 18. I can guarantee you her grandmother is not even 50 years old yet. Her mama is 32, 31, and all she worrying about is some weed, a boyfriend, and an NBA young boy new song. That's the only thing I guarantee. Listen, man. Y'all think I be getting on here just talking, but I've been in the field. I know what I'm talking about. Only thing this young lady is only thing this young lady mother is worried about is NBA young boy, new baby mama, a 3.5, and Tyrone. That's the only three things that's on her mind. So when this young lady go home, first of all, any child, women or men, because we speak a lot about how men need their fathers, women need their fathers too. This is why you have a lot of broken women because they didn't come up with their father. They never knew what it was like to be loved by a man without nobody wanting their vagina. They don't even know what that love feel like to be actually loved wholeheartedly just for who you are. Daddy's princess. Some females never experience that. And they go through life searching that out with male energy when all most men want to do, and we got to do better, brothers. Once again, brothers get the most of the blame. Well, we just want to put our penis in something. That's all we want to do. We just want to hunch. That's all majority of us want to do. It's like I say, I make these videos for the black community because I don't have. It's not my right to speak on what's going on in nobody else's community if it's not affecting us. And at this point, maybe at one particular time, but at this point, for the last 50 years, we have been destroying ourselves prior to post civil rights movement, right? And so a little girl having her father in her life is a big difference. These females that you see on social media twerking, OnlyFans, that's another bet I would be willing to make. I would bet everything I'm worth, including my life, that they didn't come up with their father. Why is that? Because a little girl that was raised up with the mindset that her father is her king and he's her prince and she's his princess, and she got that love from her father, that unconditional, true, real love that it's not a mother's love. A mother's love is very special too, but that father's love to a young girl mean everything. And they not gonna be on social media twerking. They not gonna have OnlyFans. They not gonna be doing these type of things. Why is that? Because they not gonna want to embarrass their king. And that's her being a little princess. Her first king and her only king until she walk across that stage and get married is her father, right? And so once again, I'm gonna let the video play, but I want to add that this young girl is very broken. When she goes home 9/10, you know what she do? The first thing she do when she go home, don't even probably take a bath. The first thing she probably do is go get on her phone, close the room, and go get on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and suck all that negative energy in. She don't know who she is. She don't know what to think. Anything you ask her, all her opinions, her whole lifestyle is a social media post. Walking. She's a walking social media poster, right? You ask her about anything. All her whole life is scrolling on the phone on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and all these other little social media platforms. I don't really know about Snap, all that, right? This is who this young lady is. I'm telling you what I know. I've been there. I've done that. I've experienced dealing with these single mothers until they met me. And of course, I got out of those situations. I don't want to say nothing wrong with dating a single mother. But just be prepared for these type of individuals. And I've met these type of individuals, and they had daughters like this, and I was the calm to them because most men don't really. Most men get with these women, and they don't really care about those children. They don't. I used to be that dude. But once I start to, change my life, I just love, when I start to love everybody, I start to love the kids too. So when I would date a person with kids, I would love the kid. I'm not going to say I love them like my own because I feel like that's impossible to do. But I love them and I feel sorry for them because I know that they fathers, but due to their mother making bad decisions with men and due to their father making a bad decision, you know, having unprotected sex with their mother when he know he didn't want a relationship. I just feel sorry for me. You talk to some of those children, they're angry, they have outbursts, and you just gotta show them something that they never would show before, and that's love. And it means a whole lot. There's a lot of women I dated in the past, and things didn't work out, and even a lot of situations where I was the problem, and they children still will find me on social media and look me up and come, follow me and speak to me and talk to me and tell me how they miss me and stuff like that because I was something that they never met before. A man who actually loved them, you know what I'm saying, and treated them like a father. Took them. I had female men, and I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth, and God know I ain't lying. I had young ladies who I was dating, and they children. I would take their children shopping for their birthday, and their children would say, "I never experienced this." I had one young man, and he actually went seen his daddy, went visit his daddy in another state, and called my phone and told me, "Man, you my daddy." Because his me and his mom, and these are the things that I've went through with these children. You know what I'm saying? But it's and that's another thing. These women mess with men to men. They switch men like they switch underwear, and these children don't really know no better. These children are purr. They purr and they look at TV and they know on TV, any TV they watch, any TV show they watch, cartoon, is a mother and a father in these settings because that's what's normal, and they always wonder why they don't have a father. And so these mothers, they switch men in and out of the home, and these kids take liking to these certain men. Some of these men don't care about the children; they just there for the goodies. And then some of the men like me actually do like the kid, but it gets so bad with the mother, and we separate. Well, I gotta separate from the kids too, because it's not my biological kid. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna let her finish, and I'm gonna chime in.
These are the same young women who grow up, become mothers, and perpetuate the same exact cycle over and over and over and over again.
Exactly. I gotta stop her again. And this is what you call a generational curse. This is what you call a generational curse. And this is one of the reasons why I'm making this channel, because the people that God gonna send to this channel, I want them to hear the things that I'm saying and put them. Don't be a hearer only, but be a doer. And one thing about it, I'm not gonna be on this channel. I like all the channels, but a lot of these people that speak about these things, they got a lot of good. They report them well, but they don't have no solution. Well, my thing on this channel is being solution based and solution oriented, and so therefore, I'm gonna be reporting it and giving you the solution at the same time. Um, and one of those solutions is, as young women, first of all, the men. I need to speak to the men. You need to stop, especially my black kings. You need to stop just spread your seed around recklessly. I don't really, the recreational sex thing. That's your. If that's what you off into, that's your. But strap up. If you know this is not a woman that you want long term be with, because guess what? It's not about you and it's not about her. This child gonna be brought in the world. And majority of y'all. The crazy part about it is the generation of Kurt be stupid, because it's like you came up without a father, so why would you do that to somebody else? Why would you go spread your seed, and the women don't get off scot free, because y'all know the type of men who gonna stay and who not gonna stay. And then some of y'all women run the men away. But y'all know the type of men who gonna stay and who not gonna stay. Y'all know the type of men who is gonna be in prison soon, dead soon, or not. Y'all know. So y'all gotta be careful on who y'all let inseminate y'all. Because this child coming out without a father, you know better than that, because you came up without a father. And what happens is, a lot of these females, that's what happened. They have a children, they grow up without their father, they end up getting knocked up. Now the child don't got a father because that dude was just trying to hunch. And it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. The same thing with these young men. A lot of these young men, they grew up without their father, and they, get out there on the porch, get off the porch, and start hunching women and having sex with multiple women, or however many women, knowing they don't want to be in a serious long-term relationship with these particular women, but they want to hunt. And then next thing you know, they got babies all over the city, and knowing they can't be a dad. Even these rappers, then they got money. Yes, they may be able to take care of their child, but they not being there for their child, and that hurts the child in the long run, as we see in this video.
It's disgusting and distasteful. I hate to say it, but a lot of these children are the products of single mothers. And I want to say this too. Not every single mother is created equally. Because a lot of times people talk about the single mother thing. There's a lot of different reasons why women become single mothers. Some of it is by choice, some of it is not by choice. There it could be a lot of different facets. Incarceration, the father is literally not alive anymore. He just walked away and didn't want the responsibility and she had to take care of it. There's a lot of different reasons. But you see, most of the time when you see kids that act out like this, they're product of the single mothers who were vindictive. Can I be real?
I'm glad you said that. That's a funny subject. I didn't think about that. But that's another thing. This young lady, I haven't been following her that long, but since I've been following her, she's always spot on. She always spot on. Now, another thing she said that was very important was a lot of these children like this are the product of vindictive, bitter baby mothers. Those children that you see getting shot in the street, straight bullets hitting them, going through all kind of turmoil. That's curses that they be dealing with because they was vindictive of the child's father, and I've seen it. I've seen it. Those children, and not all of them, but some of them, the parent that was vindictive, they children be depressed. They commit suicide. They getting killed in the street. They go through all kind of. They pay for that in the long run. They think they getting over on the father at that particular time, but that child that they do care about, that they do love, guess what? That curse for them keeping that child away from a father who actually did want to be in their life, but because he moved on or because he didn't even want you like that, and you call yourself trying to use this man's child as a pawn, being bitter, being vindictive, it always comes back to haunt you. And majority of the time, it comes back to haunt you in that same child that you played chess or quote them not chess, played chess with, or you thought you were playing chess with. Childs be depressed, kill themselves, getting killed in the street, just complete embarrassments and headaches to you. And that's your curse for playing games with the man's father.
That's the kind of single mothers, where they don't respect authority or they don't respect anybody, because they've seen their mother not respect other people either. They see their mother and how she acts and how, they go out there and they do things and how nobody can.
She's telling the truth. That's another thing, and I want to speak on that. Is several times I've been with these women, and they would get, they might have a situation with, I'm talking about have brand new babies in a stroller, or children that's 9 or 10 years old, and they see somebody that they get into a verbal altercation with over something stupid, not no money, not no over nobody dying, over something stupid, over something they said on Facebook, or over a dude, or over something stupid, and and sometimes with their own family members, and they get all ghetto and turned up, and I would always tell them, "Your child right there. You don't even. I don't care. She needs to know what it's like to." And I would be like, "Oh my God!" And it just, it's just a bad situation. And then next thing you know, you see these children. As you grow up and you see the children growing up, and now you see them on social media. You're not really around them more, but you see them, or you may see them in the neighborhood, and you like, look at her, just like her mama.
Can't tell her nothing. So now her being, the young mime, the young replica, nobody can't tell me nothing either, even though I'm a child. That whole saying, stay in a child's place, has gone by the wayside. Don't even exist anymore. They're like, what? We all the same. No, we're not. We're not. And I listen. You see, for example, if this happened in my era, and I was a child in this video, which I could have never been because I knew my mama was crazy. Okay, my mom acted clear. My mom didn't play. It would have been WWE SmackDown when I got home. Okay, because They taught us from a young age, when you go outside, you're representing me. And I don't want.
I want to pause this video. What she just said. She just said something that was very, very, very important, and it's very under. It's not took. It's not took that serious no more today. And then, I come up in the household with both of my parents, and my daddy used to always say that you're not going to be a reproach on me. You know, until children, and like I say, man, you gotta go check out my video. I did a live on this. I think I went in about an hour and a half, and it's on my channel. Like I said, you gotta go on my this channel right here that you listening to this on. You have to go in the live section, and I forgot the name of it, but it's gonna have parenting in the title, and it's under the live section. And I also got another video I made, and I think it's in that same section. I'm not sure, but it's gonna be in the link in the bio about how and why you should pick your children. Um, before your children for 18 years, you got 18 years. 18, because after they're 18, they who they are. Really by the time they 10 years old, their character is already who they are. But I'm saying they gonna have to go through a little bit more life of learning and going through simple little things. But by the time they 18, this is who this person gonna be to the day that they hit the grave. Like, yeah, we understand they gonna go through maybe some money struggles and maybe not money struggles. They gonna go through heartbreak. They gonna go through things that's gonna make further refine their personality. But who they are by 18 is everything that you put into them. Half of the time, children 18, they go off to college or they go off to the military or they go off to their life. Now, maybe some of them still staying at home, especially in this time we living in. But everywhere they go and everything they do is going to be a representation of what you put into them, what you taught them for those 18 years, right? A child is like a stock. Once again, until he's 18 years of age, he is like a stock, right? And you have to put everything into him, give him everything. And when I mean by everything, I'm not talking about material. You got to do everything in your power to ensure his success when he's 18. When he's 18, he go wherever he go into the world, and he faced with peer pressure to do things that's not right. If you was a good parent, your voice gonna be louder in his head than anything, telling him it can be 100 people around him to tell him to do something wrong, to tell him to twerk at spring break, to tell him to rob somebody, to tell him to steal him or her, right? But if you did what you were supposed to do in those 18 years, it don't matter what voices and how loud they may be, they not gonna be louder than the voice in his head, which is your voice if you was a good parent, telling him what to do and the right thing to do. And not only that, like I said, man or woman, especially a woman, is not going to want to misrepresent her father and or mother. Right? If you did your job, now I'm not saying they may be perfect. As you're young, you may make simple mistakes. But I'm saying for them just out there just consistently getting in trouble and embarrassing you, if you did what you were supposed to do for 18 years, they gonna have life figured out by the time they're 18. Is they gonna be perfect? That's not what I'm saying. They gonna understand life. They gonna understand that if I want something, I gotta work for it. They gonna understand that I mind my business. They gonna understand the basics of life, and they gonna understand some things in life by 18 that okay, my mom in particular or my dad in particular tell me about this. This wasn't in the rule book, but this is what I do know, and I'm gonna apply that to this situation. No, my daddy never told me what should I do if I'm on spring break with all my homegirls and they twerking, because that never came up. But I know if I do that, that's gonna be an embarrassment. They can end up on social media and embarrass my father, my family. And why would I want my father to see me twerking? Because even if he don't have a social media, what if somebody he know got a social media and show it to him? Now my whole family, my daddy embarrassed, not to mention I'm embarrassed for my daddy even seeing me doing it. And the same thing goes for men. Certain things that young men do that's mischievous. I don't want to embarrass my father by being on the news. I don't want to embarrass the family name. I don't want to do that. And I know better, and I don't have that to do. because that goes into it too. As a parent, you need to be make sure you financially stable. This is why the black family. This is why the blacks is losing, man. All these other races plan they whole children life, or not so much they whole children life, but they have a plan for their children before they bring them here. Not in my community. You got black women all the time don't got no husband, but they want a baby. Talking about they want a baby because they want somebody that's gonna love them unconditionally. They want somebody that's gonna never leave them. And some of them will be all right beyond and say, I need more income tax money, right? And so in my community, they want babies for all the wrong reasons. And once these babies get here, and the baby stage is over with, and now it's time to be a mother to a terrible 2 year old, it's a whole different ball game that we wasn't playing for. Why is that? Because majority of these Negroes, they just want to hunt. They don't want to be fathers. And these women, right now, I'm talking to a young lady. We're not talking to her like dating her, but we cool. And she got a baby on the way. She's 23 years old and got a baby on the way, and no father. And I don't really know all the whole details, but I know they not married. I know they not staying in the same home. As a matter of fact, she got to work, and I don't believe no woman should be working while she pregnant. Let's just see somebody that may do hair, but I still, if my wife or girlfriend working, well, not the girlfriend, because at this point in my life, I'm not having no baby out of wedlock, but that's just me. But I don't want my wife doing nothing. I want her being on bed rest and maybe around the house, or but I don't want my wife doing nothing. I don't want my child being put in jeopardy. No way, no how. Right? And most of these dudes now they just trying to hit something, skeet, and move on to the next female. And these females are getting stuck with these children and having to raise these children on their own. And then that's when you have product like this. You have an angry, lonely, depressed child. Because why is that? She's chemically imbalanced. God didn't make no mistakes. That's why he made it a way. It take them not two men, not two women. You have to be a man and a woman come together to make a baby. I don't care. I don't want to hear nothing about. Oh, what if she go to a place and get the semen? No, that's one out of we talking about the how it happened. A man and a woman have to come together sexually for them to have a baby. That's how that works. And like I say, the two baby thing, that's not happening every day. That's very blue moon, right? And so when when you speaking on these type of situations, it has to be understand that as a black community, we have to start planning our children's lives before they come here. We need to have finances. We need to have stuff because a lot of you having unprotected sex and you in the project. What are you doing? Why would you bring a child in the world and you already barely making it? It just doesn't make sense. And it's happening every day in the black community. These other communities don't do that. And if they do it, it's not on the level that we do it. This is why we losing. We on the demise of we raising these children and we in Section 8 housing because we can't afford rent. We on food stamp. We in Section 8 houses, which is always bad areas, but for the most part, not always, but for the most part, and all the children come together that come from single parent home. What you expect to happen? Just what you see happening in the inner cities. So we have to be planning before we need to stop that. We have to stop. We don't have to stop, but it's just gonna get worse. We have to start planning before we lay down and have. We need a ring. I'm a big component of make sure you marry before you care. But if something just so happen to happen, make sure if you get in a relationship with somebody that maybe y'all not married yet, y'all in a serious relationship, staying together, y'all both working, everything going right. Make sure y'all set a plan. And I don't support abortion, so I want to be clear on that. Use protected sex until y'all have a plan on. Okay, this is how his life gonna be set up until this age. Financially y'all straight, mentally y'all straight, spiritually y'all straight. Because some people got the finances, but they don't got they not mentally ready for a child. They not emotionally ready for a child. Make sure you ready on. Make sure all boxes are checked, and then you bring a child. That's what the other races do. So that's why when we see little John and he 18, he everything is already set for him. He got college, a college fund. He got a little money in his pocket, or he go to the mill. Everything is planned for little Johnny. Everything is planned for little Jose. Everything is planned um for little Lee. Everything is planned for these individuals. But the black, we just having babies like it's a sport.
I have to go up to the school and bring the belt in front of the classroom and make an example out of you in front of your classmates and in front of the same teacher that you disrespected. So don't try me. Now it's a free for all. A lot of the mothers that we see, they so busy twerking, trying to make their own, whatever on TikTok, on Instagram.
Once again, she telling the truth. They had a situation, and I know I could find it. I didn't think about it when I was making this video, but it was a video I seen on Facebook, I believe, and it was a situation where they had a situation where at a high school the mothers was twerking in the gym. Why is that? Because like this young lady here said, they young. They still 32, 34, 35 and trying to be young. So they doing the same thing the young girls doing. These grown women, it was about 3 or 4 of them at a black school, and they was twerking on the basketball court in front of all these children. I know these. I know. Listen, man. I know they had some black people in there, and I know the white people and all the other race of people. Maybe, which I doubt if they had any other race of people there at a black school. But I know they were like, oh my god. But I know people that seen it on social media was like, because it went viral, and I know people was like, this is the. And what you expect their daughters to do or to be? OnlyFans models, Instagram models, no daddy in the home, no man in their life. And if they do got a man in their life and he allowing them to do that, that says everything about him. 9 times 10, he come from a single mother, and so he's so caught up with worshiping a woman, he ain't gonna tell her, man, you ain't about to be my woman and be twerking. You ain't about to be my woman and walking on no beach with no thong bikinis on all your booty cheeks out on no beach with me. But a lot of these men are simpletons themselves. Why is that? Because they wasn't raised without a father. They a woman trapped in a man's body. But I'm gonna let her finish, and of course I'm gonna chime in.
Whatever, they so consumed with their own self, and they can't wait for these kids to grow up so that they can hurry up and raise themselves because they don't want to do it. That's the time that we're in right now. Watching women who have children that cannot wait for their children to hurry up and grow up because they want a peer, they want a homegirl, they want a friend instead of being a parent. Let me tell you something else that bothered me. In the comment section of this video, there was a thread of like certain women like, oh, and by the way, before I even get into that, the video went viral. The next day, we found out that the student has broken the teacher's leg. Okay, and she's gonna face charges. Let's start there. Then there was a
That's confirmed. That has been confirmed. I did confirm that. The woman, the young lady that you see in this video, because I watched the whole video. You can go find it. I watched it on Instagram. I don't know why she didn't play it. I thought she was going to play it. But the little girl tussled with the woman and to the point of she broke this woman's leg. This little bitty girl broke this grown woman's leg, bro. And now she facing charges. And believe it or not, they will have people in the comment. They will have people in support saying, "Oh, well, no. She need to be in juvenile detention center until further notice."
large part of the comments that were saying, "Oh, she doesn't need to face criminal charges. She needs some understanding and she needs counseling." What? That's a crime. And a lot of these younger kids are they see so much because they have access to so much. When you scroll on TikTok, it doesn't matter how old you are. You see everything in a couple of seconds. Every type of lifestyle, mindset, conversation, whether you should or should not be privy to. And a lot of times, a lot of parents who are uninvolved, again, because they're doing their own thing, they're sitting by the wayside. They don't know what their child is seeing on their phone. The phones are raised.
They don't know what they seeing on their phone, and they do not care. Just don't come in my face. Stay out of my face. Cause I'm smoking my dope. I'm smoking my weed. I'm in the bed with Tyrone. Leave me alone. Like she about to say. And listen, I'm a man. I'm a single man. I'm a bachelor. I've dated these women. I know what she's saying is true. The phones is raising these children. The tablet, the video game, and they don't even have enough common sense to go check the phone. Listen, that's another thing. In my house, it wouldn't even be no social media until you 16. Social media is ruining the black community as a whole, especially the poor children, but it's raising the children. Do you know what the equivalent of? And listen, and guess what? If you was in my house, my child, not only would they would not even have a social media until they 16, they would have a certain amount of hours on that device. Now, when they get 18 and they paying their own phone bill, or they paying their own phone bill, well, then that would be, you know what I'm saying. But by that time, they wouldn't be in the Jones, they wouldn't be jonesing. But now, these little kids, 10, 11 years old, you take their phone from them, you cut the Wi-Fi off, they go crazy. They go crazy. They even have videos where children destroy one young man destroyed, I think it was a young man, might have was a girl, destroyed her mama's whole front room because of a device. I've seen it. Now I've not seen it I ain't seen it in person, but I did see in person time where the women I was dating might have had a situation. They took the children's phone or whatever, and it was, man, they almost came to blows. Crying, having temper tantrums. These children shouldn't have these devices till they 16 because, like this young lady said, you go on TikTok. Man, I just realized I just got a Twitter account for New Year's, and I didn't know Twitter was X-rated. I didn't even know that. Man, Twitter is. They have naked on Twitter. They have sex on Twitter. As a matter of fact, I've been seeing it on Facebook all of a sudden, and Facebook's supposed to be the most wholesome one of all. And you mean to tell me you got your children on there? And like I say, you don't know what else these children looking at because these parents are not checking their phone. All I'm telling you, what most of these women care about, they got their own social media. They got their own stuff going on. They worry about a Negro. They worry about some weed. They worry about a blunt. They don't care what these kids do. As long as them kids not in their face bothering them. The cell phones is raising these children up today, and we wonder why we see stuff like this happening. First of all, why is a phone even in class? That they should do something about that. Listen, if you're not 18, you could not have your phone on you in class. Either leave it in your locker. If I find out I catch you on it in my class, you gonna give it to me or you gonna get out. Why are phones even allowed? You don't need that. You don't need that inside a classroom. I ain't saying you shouldn't have it at school. You might need the phone at school for emergency purposes, but you're not having no phone in class. You know what I'm saying? But that's who raising these children. And you got children out here today, 10, 11 years old on social media, having your 10, 11, 12-year old, 13-year old, 14-year old. You know what that's the equivalent of allowing them to have a social media account, a tablet, or a phone and be in a room and you not checking on it? That's the equivalent of you dropping them off to the mall by themselves and not supervising them and leaving them and saying, I'll be right back, and don't come back for another day or so. And you don't know what's going on. They might get kidnapped, and these children got people. Man, these children got people. These children got people. These children got people. Let me say, I want to, after they finish it, I want to show you a video real fast. I want to show you a video. This is the kind of stuff they got on TikTok. This is the kind of stuff they got on TikTok. I just want to show this real fast. I just want to show this really, really quick. This is the kind of stuff they got on TikTok. I saved this video to make this picture. I saved it. Look, this is the kind of stuff they got on TikTok. Look, this is the kind of stuff they got on TikTok. You think I want to explain this to my child?
SpongeBob, you gotta ask him a question first.
This is the kind of stuff they got on TikTok.
What color is my underwear?
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff
SpongeBob,
they
you
got on
gotta ask him a
TikTok.
question first.
This is the kind of stuff they got on TikTok. You think I want my child come and ask me at 12 years old, 9 years old, 8 years old because they think that TikTok is so kid friendly? Man, they got stuff going on TikTok like I just showed y'all, and even worse than that. TikTok is not for no children. None of these social media sites are for no children, because all they do is put them in a depressing state of comparing themselves to other people's state, and it's just not good. Their young brain is not trained to be able to compartmentalize this at young ages. But It's keeping them out of the parents' way. So here's a device. Here's this. Here's that. Man, they got some of these children. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. They got some of these little children, 11, 10 years old, talking about they want an iPhone and a clown you because you got an Android. Little children, because they have been brainwashed by other people to feel like the iPhone is the cool phone. You can't give them no other phone. They want an iPhone. You give them an Android, they complain. Like, man, listen, it's wicked out here, man. And these are the things you need to think about before you're thinking about being a parent. It's not just having a, even if you got finances, it takes more than finances to raise a child. A child is an investment that can come back to hurt you in the future or help you. Because the 18 years of the thing that you put into them, you instill into them, it's going to help them in the future or hurt them. And if it hurt them, it's going to be just like if it helped them. Jeffrey Dahmer, guess what? His family had to swallow that pill. That they brought somebody in the world that did these wicked things and took all these people's life. It's good and bad. You're gonna eat the fruit. And if your son decides to be if your son end up being Michael Jackson or LeBron James, well, guess what? You get to eat them fruit. But whatever your child be, it's gonna be because the fruit, the seed that you planted in them.
Own thing. They're sitting by the wayside. They don't know what their child is seeing on their phone. The phones are raising the children. The tablets are raising the children too. And these children are seeing these things, again, feeling like they're grown, feeling like they know it all, feeling like, we all the same age. You have this, I have the same thing, so we the same. And they're very intelligent. So you put them in therapy and they know how to manipulate the situation, like, oh, well, I'm sorry, I only did this because of this and this and this and this and all of that stuff, and manipulate the entire scenario because they.
I made a video about that. Therapy is a joke. Therapy is a joke. Therapy is a joke. All therapy is some 9 times out of 10 gonna be some white woman that don't understand you, don't understand what you come from, don't understand nothing about your life. Women don't have solutions anyway. Gonna listen to everything you say and take a notepad that she gonna be scribbling on to have something to go home and talk to her to have something to go home and talk to her spouse, or talk to her friends about you. Take your money, and if push come to shove, you a severe situation, they gonna prescribe you some dope that's gonna have you going against your natural nature, the natural nature of your body that God created you, which is to have emotion. That's all they gonna do. Therapy is a joke. Well, I just sometimes people just need somebody to talk to. Talk to God. Get on your knees and pray. These people don't care about you. Therapy never help. Rehab don't help. I came, and I'm not making this up. Do the numbers. Do your research. Therapy and rehab does not help. Who you know it help?
Want to get out of consequence. They know how to do it. Children need to know from a young age that consequences are real things. And this goes right back, again, further than this child, it goes back to her. However, wherever she came from, her parents, whatever. Because if you don't discipline your child or keep your child under control, then they're uncontrollable. If you can't.
For my brothers and sisters who believe in the scriptures clearly say, raise a child in the way he should go, and he won't depart from that. Also, it says that spare the rod, and that child gonna bring you to open shame.
Discipline them and keep structure in their life, then life will discipline them. It just is what it is.
Yep.
And I wanna, and I know there's gonna be a lot of comments that say this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it for you. There's a lot of people who say stuff like, oh, well, there's kids that grow up in 2-parent households and they act like this and they do these things and, they're not.
And I want to pause on this because she's saying something that, man, she touching all levels, man. I respect this sister. Shout out to this sister. I come up in a 2-parent home. And I had a troubled childhood. Because that's another thing. And that's another thing I speak in my video. Some parents are good people, but bad parents. Um, my daddy, and I'm not talking down on him because he was great. I love my father. He was a great, great man. Gave us everything we wanted. Took us all around the United States. But he wasn't a great father. Well, for one, he didn't have a great father. But he wasn't a great father because he thought that a lot of things that he thought was if I give him everything and want to take him everywhere, that's being a good father. And that's not being a good father. That's a piece of being a good father, but it was time where I needed him, but he was working. He was always working. And you may say, well, you being selfish, your daddy had to work. And I do respect that, so I'm not saying that, but I'm still saying that I needed his time. And because I didn't have his time, I sought it out in the streets. And another thing that he did that I feel like was bad parenting was he was a bargain guy. He was always about if this worked for cheap, I can get it. I'll do it like that. And so with that being said, he had the money to move us in a nice neighborhood, but he always allowed us to stay in the hood because that was cheaper. And when you allow your children to stay in the hood and people selling drugs and doing everything you can name under the sun that happens in the hood right outside their door, it's a good chance that they gonna get involved. Am I blaming him saying that it's his fault that I got involved in all the street stuff? No, because my brother didn't. But that doesn't, my brother just was a better, had more wisdom at that age than me to know well this. And not only that, he seen me bump my head, so he learned from my mistakes. So I would say that. But at the end of the day, if you got the right, that's another thing. Make sure your children, once again, your children are your investment. You don't have your children standing on, oh, they gonna make up their mind. They gotta have their own mind. No. Once they get to a certain age, yeah. But growing up, you need to have them in the right areas as well. Because if they go outside, and even though they come up in a two-parent household, but they go outside and join forces with Lil Ray Ray, and he raised in a single mother household, then the Bible even say, bad company corrupt good manners, right? And so, two-parent home can be just as worse as a one-parent home if the father is not in his right role or if the father doesn't make good decisions. But as she about to say, that is quote unquote the exception to the rule. We know the rule is majority of two-parent household of children end up growing up and being great people to society, and not so much great people to society. They end up being they end up being full-fledged adults and full-fledged human beings, not chemically imbalanced. Too much male energy could be a problem, like children raised by their fathers without a mother. The women be overly tough, and it's just a turnoff. Just like children being raised by their mother. Now we know single fathers have a better success rate than single mother because why is that? They're about structure, discipline, and dominance, and they require more respect than the single mother, and they're an authoritative figure. Not the woman is not an authoritative figure. She's a nurturer. She's a caregiver. She's a lover. Can't nobody bring a family together like a woman. Can't nobody make a house a home like a woman. Right? So, when you're dealing with these situations, but we all know the numbers is 70-some% in the black community of households that's being ran by a woman. And we see every day on the news, in our own lifestyle, the ruins, ruins, the ruins and the bad condition that the black community is in. And that's a direct representation of who they being raised by. This is why, once again, you see stuff like this, how they don't have no respect for authority, how they overly emotional and compulsive when they pulled over by the police, when they dealing with a principal or teacher, because this is what they get from mama.
Not a representative of their parents. They just don't know how to act. That's true. That's very, very true. But would we say that that's the majority of situations that we see? Or no? Would we say that that's the minority? I would say that's the minority.
Preach, sister. You're 100% correct.
Because most of the times, dads are the ones who bring structure.
Uh-oh. Talk to them.
Even if a girl is grown up, she might want to toe to her mom, but you see her dad, she like, oh no. Because of the dominance that's there.
That is.
Because of the structure that he provides.
That is. That is.
There's very far and few and in between women who provide a certain level of structure and discipline to their children by their lonesome, because women are more compassionate, right? A lot of times you have some women who, if they're not trying to compete with their child, they're trying to friend up their child. But that motherly kind of like, okay, I'm about to pounce on you. What you doing? Who you talking to? Who do you think you are? A lot of children get that from their father. And again, a lot of young girls replicate what they see. They become the mother that raised them. Whether they want to, whether they're trying to or not. It's just true. It's truthful. This is a very hurtful situation. Very hurtful situation. And even more hurtful because the teacher was trying to de-escalate the situation. She did not harm the child. And had she harmed this child, you would have heard all type of, oh no, she don't need that kind of job. And literally she's getting attacked. It's hurtful, man. It's very hurtful. Very, very hurtful. Very, very, very hurtful. And I hope that this situation teaches a lot of young kids a lot of situations based on what's going on. And exposes that, yes, there is consequence. Regardless of how old you are, how grown you think you are, you're going to find out. You're going to find out. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. We could have, a longer conversation. There's so much to say about this entire conversation when it comes to family structures, children, what it is that children go through. There's so many things that we could talk about, but obviously this is just my short video giving you my feelings. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video.
And so I just want to close, man, on this video. But like I said, it's going to be my first entry in a new series I'm starting called Should You Be a Parent? Should you be a parent? Listen, man, these social media pictures where you and the child get to post and these cute little holidays. Listen, man, you need to ask yourself as a young man, as a woman especially, because you 9 times out of 10 going to have to keep the child. Are you ready to be a parent? Are you ready for this? It's all fine and dandy looking at your friend. You know, a lot of people is under pressure. Social media got a lot of people depressed and under pressure these days because it's like when you a certain age, you're supposed to have this or you supposed to have that or this, that. Listen, man, you live life on your terms. That's why God gave everybody a different fingerprint, everybody a different DNA. I mean, not a different DNA, but everybody is different. You don't go in a bookstore and get a book and every book in the bookstore is the same. Every book got its own story. Every person got their own story. You might not supposed to have children till you 40. Because I tell people all the time, I don't believe you should start even trying to have children till at least 30 years old. Why is that? Because, in your 20s, you learning. You still learning in your 20s. You learning about finances. You learning about managing finances, managing bills, managing a household. You just starting in your career. You don't need to be bringing no child in the world in those times. Now, when you're 30 years old, by the time you're 30 years old, you didn't experience everything there is to know about life. Now, of course, when you're 30, you might experience some other different things. But I'm saying by the time you're 30, your heart done been broke maybe more than one time. You done went broke and had to come back up more than one time. You in your career, and you stamped in your career. You pretty much know all the life lessons, not from somebody telling you, but from experience by the time you're 30 years old. So now you got something to bring. Now you actually have something to teach your child when they come into this world. Not from experience, but a lot of these women, they learning as they go. They on Instagram twerking. They still want to go. And another thing, by the time you're 30, now we know not everybody, because they got some of these women still in their 50s wanting to be in the club every damn week. But I'm saying for the most part, normal people, by the time they 30, they pretty much settle down. Not saying that they don't have fun and they boring. They still do stuff. But it's not like when you're in your 20s. Your 20s, your 20s is like your grown teens, basically. You still kind of like got a teen mind, but you grown to do the thing that you want to do when you want to do it. And so these are the things you need to ask yourself when you have a baby as a young man or a young woman. These are the things that you need to ask yourself. Am I ready to deal with a child? Am I ready to raise a child? Not the social media. Am I ready to skip some weekend? Am I ready to skip some get-togethers? Because if you call yourself just, oh, I'm gonna do it as I go, that's 9 times out of 10 not gonna turn right. And whatever this child go through in life, it's gonna be because of you. Because of you. Because of the stuff that you put in them, instilled in them, raised them with, or raised them around. Whatever they go through as a child is gonna be your fault and throughout their whole life. If you don't watch them and they get raped by somebody at a young age, their whole life they're gonna be promiscuous, or their whole life they're gonna be angry and upset and on LGBTQ, NOP community because of you. Whatever happened to your children after 18 when they on their own, it's because of you, good or bad. And I'm gonna show you something else. You're gonna eat the fruit. They turn out to be a Jeffrey Dahmer, you gonna eat the fruit. They turn out to be Michael Jordan or LeBron, you gonna eat the fruit. But whatever you put in your child, instill in your child, teach your child, before the age of 18 is who they gonna be, and you gonna face the consequences for that, good or bad. And so these are the things you need to be conscious of when you talking about I want a baby just for more income tax. I want a baby just because I can keep her in her my life, and she can be my baby mom and I can always have access to her. I want to have a baby because I'm lonely and I want somebody that's going to always be there and never leave me. You need to think about these things and ask yourself, do I want to be a parent? Should I be a parent at this age? Do I have enough financially to take care of the child? Do I have enough mentally to teach the child? Am I spiritually, emotionally ready for a child? These are the questions you need to ask yourself and have a plan with the person that you're reproducing with. Y'all need to come together and have a plan on what y'all gonna teach this child, right? Y'all need to have this together because doing it as you go leads to situations like this young lady in this video, and it's happening all over the world. Learning as you go, have situations that happen where these individuals are getting killed by police in the street. Check their background. These majority of these dudes, if not all of them, was raised without their father. I don't want to hear about no stepdaddy. They was raised without their fathers, which is automatically an issue. And you moving on, as a young woman with another man that's not that young lady's father or not that young man's father, is a problem. They might not see it, and it might be a good stepfather. But at the end of the day, that child gonna yearn spiritually for the spirit that would have on making him or her. And yeah, you happy in a new relationship, but your child is not. And they don't even know why they not happy. It's because it's two spirits that came together and made him or her, and now only one of them is in the picture. This stepdaddy is not the spirit that created him or her. And as long as we moving how we move in our community and just having babies as it's a sport, having babies like we go take pee-pees and poo-poos and not playing in those child's life, don't expect the black community to get any better than what it is. It's going to get worse. But I'm going to close on this. This is my first video in the entry of Should You Be a Parent? And I want to thank y'all for watching, and God bless.